Oy, where do I even begin? Well, let's start with the Game Awards. During this show, CTR was announced to get remastered on the PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. They also showed off that it's going to include the karts from Crash Nitro Kart. So you know what? Let's go check out Crash Nitro Kart since it is once again relevant. It hasn't been relevant since that whole Mario Kart 8 thing back in 2014. I know the last time I visited Nitro Kart was pretty dumb, so we're going to try again. This would be my third revisit. Well, at least I'm going back to fix everything. So, here we are, 2003, a time when everybody was putting Wrath of Cortex into their fire pit because of how trash it was. Crash was due for a new game to keep his fans hooked. Enter Crash Nitro Kart. Now this game was released as the quote-unquote ultimate successor to Crash Team Racing. The working title, believe it or not, was Crash Team Racing 2. Crash Nitro Kart was released on November 11th, 2003 for the PlayStation 2, Microsoft Xbox, Nintendo GameCube, and Game Boy Advance. I will cover the GBA version some other time, don't worry. Later in 2004, it was released for the N-Gage and various mobile devices. For this review, I'm playing the Xbox version, with reduced load times. And no other changes. Well, let's start with the story. Crash and friends are having a relaxing day, when suddenly a giant beam takes their entire house up to the skies. Meanwhile, Cortex, Tiny, and Engine are trying to figure out how to get rid of the bandicoots.
Dingo dial! Throw the switch!
When suddenly, that same beam takes them up. They all end up at a coliseum located on top of a floating rock, far from the likes of Earth. Now here's where the similarities with CTR start to become noticeable. The bandicoots in Cortex are later greeted by Emperor Velo the 27th, who is voiced by Steve Bloom. Not Wells. Fucking dumbass past me. He has sent everybody here to race for their freedom. If they refuse, Velo will destroy the Earth. Boy, Uka Uka's been trying to conquer the world for years, and this guy's mere moments away from blowing it to bits. Anyway, we get to the main menu, and this doesn't look so bad. In the adventure mode, you don't pick one of 8 characters, but instead you pick one of 2 teams of 3. Team Bandicoot or Team Cortex. This means you can switch between the 3 characters if you wish. Team Bandicoot is Crash, Coco, and Crunch. Team Cortex includes Cortex, Engine, and Tiny. N-Trance and Oxide also have teams of their own. Oxide has Zem and Zam aiding him, and Trance has Dingodile and Polar hypnotized to help him. In the adventure mode, we go through 4 different worlds with 3 tracks and a boss in each one. There is also the Coliseum, which is the main hub area. Now when we start, one of the first things we see is Aku Aku talking to us. Or Uka Uka, depending on the team you pick. Are you okay, dude? Crash Team Racing was made in 1999. Back then, this was acceptable. Now it just looks horrific. Also like CTR, the worlds give you plenty of room to practice your driving skills. So the first track is Crash Cove, and oh, I'm sorry. The first track is actually Inferno Island, and look at this. This is the same jump shortcut from Crash Cove. In fact, a lot of tracks do this. Tiger Temple, Tiny Temple,
Racing! Racing!
Cortex Castle, Clockwork Wampa, Engine Labs, Assembly Lane, It's the exact same thing, but mirrored. And welcome to How to Make a Fucking Brilliant Game 101. Step 1. Do whatever the fucking fuck Naughty Dog does. Instant fucking success. Yes, that is how you do it, but at least put some effort into it. Anyway, after collecting the trophies, we confront the world's boss. Honestly, the bosses are the real highlights of this game. They include Kronk, a monkey who's an ass, Nash, a shark with attention deficit disorder, Norm, a mime with multiple personality disorder, and Geary, a robot with obsessive compulsive disorder. After collecting 12 trophies and defeating all 4 bosses, you can confront Velo himself. And you race on a new track, Hyper Spaceway. Now, a lot of people don't like that you have to race on a new track, but I think that's what makes it so challenging. In CTR, you raced on Oxide Station before facing Oxide, allowing you to know the track and prepare yourself. Here, that luxury is gone, and you have to learn a brand new track. I think this is actually a neat concept. As for the race itself,
Velo's fucking insane!
More insane than Oxide on 200cc. I shit you not when I say this was one of the hardest final bosses I ever faced as a kid. I even remember getting stuck on him. But once you do defeat Velo, he does exactly what Oxide did. You haven't truly beaten him, so now he wants you to gather all of his time relics. Oh boy. Okay, yes, it's okay to have the time relics in a racing game because you want to go fast, but here's the problem. The controls are pretty bad. I can say with a grain of salt that Crash Nitro Kart's controls are unbelievably sluggish. Your car feels like it takes forever to actually start fucking moving. Even if you slightly tap a wall, all your speed you slowly built up is gone. This is one of the major reasons people always bring this score down for this game. Why out of all things that you copied from CTR were the controls not one of those things? I know it's different hardware, but come on! It's a racing game! Tight controls need to be part of the criteria. And the fact of the matter is, Crash Nitro Kart does not allow fast-paced racing. You would think that maybe the tracks were designed to compensate, right? Well, in terms of design, yes. In terms of length, no. Some of these last about a minute per lap. Now, you wouldn't think that's a problem, but it is when there's only 13 tracks and half of them are so long. Alright, let's get back on topic. Yes, like CTR, there are extra collectibles. First, we have the CNK tokens, collected by grabbing the letters C, N, and K, and winning the race. Then we have the time relic races, and a lot of these boxes, don't even bother, as majority of them are painstakingly off the main path. Look at this crap. And in the battle arenas, you have to collect 20 crystals scattered about. Like CTR! After doing all this, you are introduced to the gems. By racing across 3 tracks in a row and earning the most overall points, you will win that gem. Like CTR! There are only 4 this time. Unlike CTR, the gem cups are not based around tracks of that color token, or 3 tracks from a certain world. They're just the arcade cups. The 13th and final relic, Hyper Spaceway, requires you to complete the 4 gem cups. But wait!
Did you know?
Did you know? If you collect the blue gem, you can go into and collect the Hyper Spaceway relic without having the other gems already collected. Great game testing. Once you collect everything, you confront Velo again. When you beat him, he explodes and reveals his true form. He's tiny. No, he's literally small. The ending is different depending on the team you pick. In the Bandicoot's ending, Velo sends them home. In Cortex's ending, the gang gets sent to Terra. I like Cortex's ending a little better. Well, that's the story. Now let's talk about the gameplay. Now this game looks gorgeous. From the environments, to the character models, to the FMVs, there's a lot of charm this game had. Pretty sexy stuff for the consoles it was on. I also like the loading screens. I think they're neat. However, you still have to worry about the controls. Unfortunately, Vivi didn't perfect that. Isn't it kind of funny how these guys would later develop the Insane trilogy?
Please stop trying to be Naughty Dog.
Sorry, Michael. They ain't listening to you.
This is the end of the story.
Did you know?
Did you know? Various tracks from CTR were going to be recreated in Nitro Kart with a cut retro mode. But looking at the track layouts, they kinda already did that. I need to bring back the problem counter somewhere, so I'm going to start here. Problem number 1. Your teammates are either useless or complete assholes. You can't hit your teammates in team races. If your teammate is better than you and wins the race, it's okay, you still get the trophy. Oddboy came in dead last in one of his races, but thanks to his teammate, the game still gave him the trophy. In team races, you will have a team meter. It slowly charges while you and your teammates stay close to each other. Once it's full, you can unleash a team frenzy, which gives you unlimited items for a short time. Oddboy and I like to call this the item fit, because it feels like the meter represents your rage towards your teammate, and when you finally get the chance to make them go away, you just start throwing everything everywhere. Problem number 2. You can't unlock any of the boss characters. Why can't I play as the bosses?
I was able to do that in CTR, so why not here?
And before you jump in the comments, I know they're playable in the GBA version, but we're not talking about that version. Another new feature in this game, one of the major gameplay mechanics, is anti-gravity. In these sections, the tires turn sideways, allowing for more dynamic track designs. Wait! I can hear you guys screaming, Nintendo did it first! Yes, they did already do this. But with F-Zero, a racing series they abandoned. This was not the case with Mario Kart until the 8th release. 11 fucking years later.
The fact of the matter is, Crash Bandicoot beat Super Mario to the punch. And let's not forget, Sonic beat Mario to this as well in 2007 with Sonic Rider Zero Gravity. Well, moving on.
We can also customize the battle arena modes. Nice. It's just, nobody wants to play this game with me. Problem number 3. The minimap is not accurate at all. In some cases, I'm shown ahead of where I actually am on the track. Instead of tracking the character by their position, the dots have set paths that are marked by the track's built-in checkpoints. You know, the little things that let the game know you're racing the track. Problem number 4. Unlocking characters feels so awkward. Most of them are unlocked in the adventure mode with the gems. Entropy is unlocked after beating his time trials, and Velo is unlocked by completing the adventure mode 100% with both teams. Pura is unlocked by performing 50 boosts in rapid succession with Team Bandicoot. You unlock Fake Crash the same way, but with Team Cortex. What the actual shit? If there's somebody out there who can't get used to the controls, they're fucked. I'm not going to cover the Wampa Fruit or the slide boosts, as what I said about them in CTR applies to here, since it's just CTR on Gen 6 consoles. Correction, a slightly broken version of CTR on Gen 6 consoles. Problem number 5. The bosses don't have different music in their races. Yes, the bosses in CTR had the same race music, but at least it was different from the track's music. Here they don't even bother. What in the literal fuck? Speaking of the music, let's briefly talk about the soundtrack.
It's alright, I guess. I mean, compared to other Crash games, it is pretty weak, but it's still somewhat memorable. Take a listen sometime.
Well, that was Crash Nitro Kart. You know, it's not that bad of a game. However, Vicarious Visions tried to emulate what Naughty Dog did with CTR, and as a result, they fell flat on their face. Luckily, they were able to get back up with the Insane Trilogy. After seeing that Beanox was making Nitro-Fueled, there was a little side of me that was saying, thank fuck. Not that I don't believe VV could bounce back from Crash Nitro Kart, but it was one of very few kart racers they made, and it showed. I guess you can argue and say Naughty Dog had no kart racing experience when they made CTR, and I'm inclined to agree. However, they were able to execute their game properly. I can't say the same for Nitro Kart. If you missed out on this game as a kid, don't worry. I would sooner buy CTR anyways. I give Crash Nitro Kart a final score of... Yes, I bumped up the score, but not by a lot. Do I think it's a bad game? No. It's still worth giving it a go, but play CTR first.
I think I've had enough revisiting old reviews. I'm gonna go work on some new material now. While I do that, why don't you go check out my recent video on Phoenix Games? Because I love decreasing my lifespan. And as always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, then make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I also have a Patreon page, so make sure you check that out with the link in the description. Now if you'll excuse me, I have some more urgent matters to attend to.
So now I want to take this time to inform you guys on something. Are you looking for a reviewer to collab with or make a cameo in your video? If so, don't be afraid to ask me in the comments. Just tell me what I need to do. I'm always open to the idea of collaborating with fellow reviewers. And as always, Godspeed, Nitro Clan!